Good evening. Hello, everyone. We still have 2 more minutes. I'm going live about my entrepreneurship experiences. We celebrated Women Entrepreneurship Day 2 days ago, and I was supposed to go live on that day, but we had multiple technical glitches. There was Wi Fi not working, uh, problem on Facebook, multiple things. And that's why it got postponed to today. I'm sincerely apologize for all the goof ups, and I'm so happy to be finally we are able to resolve all the technical problems and I can go live. um, I think we will just wait for 1 more minute before I get started. uh, so I am from Mumbai, and I have been a entrepreneur for 20 long years of my life, which is a really a long time. And I have actually dabbled with multiple types of entrepreneurship, which is what kind of makes my journey really interesting. I think, yeah, it's 6:30, so let me start. Good evening, everybody, and I thank you so much for bearing with us. Thank you so much for having all the patience, and thank you so much for watching me today go live talking about my journey as an entrepreneur. I started my entrepreneurship journey quite by chance, actually. I was on my maternity leave, and I thought there's nothing to lose. I will always have my job to go back to. I don't come from an entrepreneurship family, which is what makes my journey all the more interesting, because there was no entrepreneur, there was no role model, there was nobody to look up to, there was nobody telling me that why are you working, why are you a job seeker, you should be a job creator. And it all came from within, and I thought there's nothing to lose. Worst, I will go back to my job, if I fail as an entrepreneur. I started an ITES company, IT enabled services company, in 2001. And it was very challenging because, as I said, I didn't have an entrepreneurship background. I didn't IT enabled services company. I started a transcription company which was doing both business transcription as well as medical transcription in 2001. And it was a sunshine sector, and we thought interesting to jump into it, figure out how to run it. I was not a medical doctor, so there was absolutely no background of medical transcription. I had a PhD in management, but I didn't have a business degree, formal business degree, so no background in business transcription, honestly. And I just jumped into it. First 1 year was tough. I think being a woman entrepreneur really helped me, because people ask me how does it feel being an entrepreneur, and I always tell them liberating. And when somebody asks me how does it feel being a woman entrepreneur, and my answer is super liberating. Honestly, it has been an amazing journey. That doesn't mean that there have been no difficult times, there have been no challenges, multiple challenges. Being an entrepreneur, multiple challenges about dabbling different roles, going through the challenging times, managing frustrations while taking care of children, and so on and so forth. So there were multiple challenges at multiple levels. Being woman also had multiple challenges, but I think being women entrepreneur also had multiple advantages. I still remember when I started my IT enabled services business, and I had to go out to seek some approvals, permissions from the government office. We had we had like some 23 approvals were needed to start a business. Like one of them was registration in the software technology parks of India and stuff like that. So when I went there, and they said, they were very uncomfortable asking bribe to a woman, or maybe they didn't even want a bribe. Maybe they were just uncomfortable talking to a woman. They told me that, why don't you send your clerk? I said, I'm the clerk. They said, okay, why don't you send your manager? I said, I'm the manager. They said, why don't you then send your peon? I said, I am the peon. I was a first time entrepreneur and definitely didn't have money to really afford a manager, afford a clerk, and afford a peon altogether. It was all me. And they said, okay, you come tomorrow. And I went next day. They said, okay, you come, one more time. And finally they said, it's not good making a woman come to our office multiple times. And they really gave me the approvals. So I think being a woman also has helped me enormously, because, we are strong. We are, men are also very strong. I'm not saying that men are not strong, but I think we are used to dabbling multiple roles and managing multiple generations at the same time. We manage our parents, in-laws, spouse, friends of the same generation, children, and so many generations we are handling at the same time. We are dabbling into multiple roles. However busy a woman is, she always becomes the caregiver for the children. She always becomes taking care. She always has to take care of the household. So, we are so used to juggling our times, so adept at juggling our times. We are great negotiators because we buy stuff for our family. I'm so sorry. Being a woman entrepreneur has also an advantage that, we can spend more time with our dogs. And she's reacting now. Anyway, so I think multiple advantages happened being a woman entrepreneur. Challenges were of course immense, because when children were growing up and okay, as Hindi, I have been asked to speak in Hindi Marathi. बिल्कुल मला आवडेल मराठीमध्ये बोलायला. हिंदी में बहुत अच्छा लगेगा बात करने को. मराठीमध्ये थोडंसं बोलते मी. अनंतजी, मी बेसिकली सांगते की माझा जो अनुभव आहे आता इतक्या वर्षांचा जो अनुभव आहे एक बिझनेस चालवण्याचा, त्याच्याबद्दल मी आज बोलते. कारण 2 दिवसापूर्वी आपले वुमन ऑन्टरप्रेन्योरशिप डे झाला, तर त्या निमित्ताने मी लाईव्ह येणार होते 2 दिवसापूर्वी, पण आमचे थोडेसे टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लेम झाल्यामुळे मी आज लाईव्ह आले आहे. आणि मी माझ्या अनुभवांबद्दल सांगते. आणि अतिशय सुंदर अनुभव आलेला आहे आणि खूप मजा आली आहे मला. सो मी सुरुवातीला मी एक फॉर प्रॉफिट बिझनेस सुरू केला. I grew that business. I scaled up that business. I sold the business and I made a lot of money in that by selling that business. I then became a social entrepreneur, which was a very different ball game altogether. Social entrepreneurship अतिशय वेगळी आहे एक जनरल कमर्शियल ऑन्टरप्रिनरशिपच्या मनाने. आपण कमर्शियल बिझनेस चालू केला की त्याच्यामध्ये आपण प्रॉफिट्स मॅक्सिमाइज करायचा प्रयत्न करतो. द ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह इज टू मॅक्सिमाइज युअर प्रॉफिट्स. पण सोशल ऑन्टरप्रिनरशिपमध्ये द ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह इज टू मॅक्सिमाइज सोशल रिटर्न ऑन इन्व्हेस्टमेंट. इथे ROI म्हणतो, तिकडे SROI. सो वाईल नॉर्मल बिझनेस टॉक्स अबाउट मॅक्सिमायझिंग ROI, a social business talks about, a social entrepreneurship talks about maximizing SROI, which is social return on investments. And obviously it was a completely different experience because here we were managing shareholders, there we were managing stakeholders. So, but I think again change comes very naturally to women. I mean, we grow up in one house and then we live rest of our life in another house. So we are so used to adapting to change. त्याच्यामुळे बदल हा आयुष्यामध्ये इतका सहजपणे महिला एक बदल इतक्या सहजपणे आपण आत्मसात करू शकतो आणि त्याच्यामधून आपण काहीतरी चांगलं काढू शकतो. आणि दॅट इज वाय आय थिंक फॉर मी ऑल्सो फ्रॉम जर्नी फ्रॉम ऑन्टरप्रिनर, प्युअर ऑन्टरप्रिनर टू अ सोशल ऑन्टरप्रिनर, I won't say it was super smooth, but it was not very difficult also. It was very interesting talking to my stakeholders. Then we decided to become a tribal focused organization, going to all these tribal areas, managing home, managing your work, scaling up Ra Foundation. And we are so happy, in like less than 10 years, Ra Foundation is just 10-year-old organization. And we are already getting funded by Azim Premji Philanthropic Initiative, which is a very, very respectable organization in the space. We recently got funded by Virat Kohli, which is, so exciting for all of us. And it was not easy to get funded by Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli is as astute batsman, he's an astute businessman. So when he chose us, he obviously went through, the due diligence was quite difficult. We went through multiple stages of due diligence. Virat himself was involved at every stage, and going through that and then coming out successful, I think it was amazing. त्याच्यामुळे when I look back at my entrepreneurship journey, I think I have multiple takeaways. when I was a commercial entrepreneur, what I honestly learned was it made me humongously humble, very, very humble, because I realized I'm a job creator. And being a job creator, that thought is very powerful. It makes you feel very, very powerful, because when you are a job creator, you actually shape lives, you actually create people's destinies, you actually have say in how people are going to lead their next couple of years, and that itself makes you extremely powerful. And I think with power comes humbleness, and it made me extremely humble. And I realized that this is not power, this is a responsibility, this is a humongous responsibility that God has bestowed upon me. And when I would see the change in people's life, when young boys and girls would come to seek employment in my organization, they were like not very sure about themselves. They were a little confused. They were, how it will all shape up, how this organization is going to treat me. They had no clue. And within 1 year, they were like confident young men and women earning a very good salary, and became bankable. They could take loan, they could buy houses, they could buy motorcycles. They would come to me with sweets and say that this job has changed our life, thank you so much. Honestly, I would cry. It was the most amazing experience of my life, and no other profession can give you that experience. Only being an entrepreneur, you get that experience. I think another aspect of being a woman entrepreneur, my children actually grew up seeing me run that business. When I started the business, my daughter was just 2.5 years old and my son was just born. And I was running my ITES business for 10 long years. So my daughter actually became 12.5 years old when I sold the business. My son became 10 years old when I sold the business. And I think it also made my children, shape up my children in a different way. I think my daughter grew up, she is a very entrepreneurial in nature. She's like a go-getter, because she has always seen her mother do that, manage multiple challenges, become a go-getter. I used to be tense, but with a smile on my face, because when I'm spending my time with my daughter, they used to be business tensions, there used to be working capital tension, there used to be multiple tensions. But I learned to kind of segregate my life between 9 and 5 and 5 and 9. I think that again, being an entrepreneur taught me, because when you are working, for somebody, automatically when you come back home, you kind of, often you can afford to forget about it. I'm so sorry about this disturbance. So you often forget about the difference. But when you are actually an entrepreneur, that comes, you have to actually decide that I'm not going to think about my work. I'm not going to bring my challenges. I'm not going to bring my tensions home. So you have to kind of, your mind frame has to become like that. You have to channelize your mind into thinking that there is a gap, my home life has to be as amazing as my work life. And so I think that again made me much more organized, organized in mind, organized in work, organized in my approach towards everything. I think that again has shaped me, molded me amazingly well. And there have been again, I think another advantage was that when I was, it was about 5 years into my business, and we wanted to scale up. There was a scaling up opportunity for my business. And exactly at the same time, Government of India came out with some interesting schemes for women entrepreneurs. And where women entrepreneurs, without keeping any collateral, could raise funds, could take a loan from a recognized bank. That came in so handy. I think that was an advantage of being a woman entrepreneur, right? There are always so many schemes that the government has, that the banks have, for encouraging women entrepreneurship. And so that has also helped me in multiple ways. So I think being a woman entrepreneur, like multiple advantages. Even today, there are so many government schemes available, which I think we should all know about, and we should all understand how to avail them. Again, being a social entrepreneur has really helped me. Being woman again in a social entrepreneurship setup has helped me, because I think what happens is that when we go to all these tribals, we work with tribals, primarily with tribals, and when we go to the tribals, to win that trust, it becomes very easier for me, a woman, to win that trust, because what I can do is that I can go to the woman's kitchen. I can actually keep my arm on her shoulder. I can look into her eyes. I can talk to her about her problems. I can ask her what are her challenges. I can ask her. She is much more comfortable talking to me about all her pain points than probably she would be with a man. And that has really helped Ra Foundation build that amazing trust that we have in the tribal community. So I think there are multiple advantages of being a woman social entrepreneur also. I have once again started a for-profit sustainable social business that finds market linkages to the tribal art products. And so this is my third business venture. So you can actually call me a serial entrepreneur. First a commercial enterprise, then a social enterprise, and now a social business. And it has been an amazing journey, and I would honestly urge all the women to give it a shot, give it a try. I think it's worth exploring being a businesswoman, and it is honestly not difficult. Of course, you need a lot of support from your house, enormous support from your spouse if you're married, children if you have them, parents if you're not married, because family support is important, and it has made a lot of difference in my life. It has really helped me achieve all my dreams of being an entrepreneur, of scaling up my businesses, of so many things that I have done as an entrepreneur. Family support has really made a lot of difference. One of the things that we should do, and which again we are very good at doing, we as in women are very good in doing, is understanding of people, recruiting people. I have been blessed with some amazing people who work with me, who work for me, who work with Ra Foundation, who work with my social business, Ra Creative Designs. And we are actually 100% women team in Mumbai. We are all women. And I'm so proud of that. Our field staff is all men, because it involves a lot of travel. I'm not saying that women cannot do all those kilometers of travel in a single day, but field staff is somehow not by choice, but it has just happened that they are all men. But we are in Mumbai office, we are all women, and we take pride in being women entrepreneurs. If I am a entrepreneur, they are all intrapreneurs. They are all dedicated. They are all super passionate. So I would also call them kind of entrepreneurs, because they are all intrapreneurs, and they are all kind of lagadal mentality कि नहीं करना ही है, we have to do it. Like for example, this Facebook live was supposed to be 2 days ago, and I had multiple technical problems on that day. Mitali dear, she looks after our social media communication. She has had 2 sleepless nights thinking about what will happen to our reputation. We promised Facebook live and it didn't happen. What happens now? She has been pushing me to kind of look at my settings, look at my technical problems. How do we resolve those technical problems? She has been pushing me to record a video if Facebook live is not happening. And today we have finally managed. All honestly, 100% credit goes to Mitali. So she's an entrepreneur. She is an entrepreneur. So we are all amazing women entrepreneurs trying to change the world, trying to make a better life for the tribals, trying to build a better world for the tribal communities, trying to create opportunities locally for the indigenous people of Maharashtra. And, and we are enormously blessed by several women supporters, several men supporters, all of you all who are watching, and all of you all who are not able to, because this has been very sudden. We didn't actually announce it well in advance. We just said that we are going live. And thank you so much, and I can see so many of my close friends watching this live. Alan Pinto, thank you. Rajesh Nadgoda, thank you. Bhairavi, thank you so much. So many of my friends are watching, and thank you. Ratna Joshi, thank you so much, my dear. Madhura Maushi, thank you. Dipali, thank you so much. Nikhil Nasta, thank you so much for all your amazing comments and all your encouraging comments. Ananta Jende, thank you. Sanjay Sinha, my childhood friend, thank you so much, my dear, for logging in and encouraging me. Akshita Nagar, thank you so much, my dear. And all of you all, if I've missed out some names, pardon me. But, and I'm wishing everybody greetings on Women Entrepreneurship Day. and urging all women to give entrepreneurship a shot. It's worth it. Trust me, it is worth it. I've been there, I've done that, not once, not twice, but thrice. So if I'm saying it, I really mean it. I wouldn't have done this Facebook Live if I was not confident of other women doing the same thing. It's not difficult at all. All we need is honestly a little Oh, my cousin Ravi is also watching me. Thank you so much, Ravindra. And it is honestly, it's all about creating that framework in our mind, creating that framework in our life, deciding that it's going to happen. There are going to be lots of misses. It's not going to be easy. If we try 10 different things, only 2 are going to work. But I think those 2 are going to be so amazing that they are going to shadow the rest 8 which did not work and make everything worth it. And all of us have the energy, all of us have the zest, all of us have the potential, all of us have that amazing creativity which is required. Go for it. And thank you so much for watching us live, and thank you so much for all the support you people give to Ra Foundation by being there, by donating, by buying our products, by encouraging, by liking our post. Even liking our post is so important. Please continue doing that. Please continue encouraging us. And we have barely scratched the surface. We have just worked with about 30,000 tribals. We have made a better life for about 30,000 tribals. So women in about 95 villages can get water at their doorstep, through our water program. More than 1,200 tribal farmers have stopped migrating completely. They have all become agri-entrepreneurs. They grow year-round crops. They sell in local mandis. They sell in nearby mandis. They earn a decent income. They don't have to migrate at all. They are living a life of dignity. They are living a life of amazing life in their own villages. Over 250 women have become entrepreneurs. They have started local grocery shops. They have started a photocopy machine business. Somebody has started a flour mill. So depending on what business they can do in their own villages, they have started those businesses. And it's so amazing to see them rise literally like a phoenix, from nothing to becoming to confidently changing their lives, just because through entrepreneurship. It is so amazing. And so we have done multiple things at multiple levels. Our art business actually is scaling up big time. We have some amazing people joining us now, but we have barely scratched the surface. We have a long way to go, and we started alone, but with support from all of you all. Oh, Joyce, thank you so much. Joyce is again my childhood friend. He's also watching me. Shubh Singh, thank you so much for logging in. Thank you so much, all of you, and I will log out. Thank you so much, and please give me your feedback, comments. We will continue to do this regularly. Thank you so much.